Hi guys, and welcome to a very different type of video for me. Now, I've been wanting to make this one for a little while, but it's obviously taken me quite a while to allocate all the things that I needed to do in order to have this come to pass. Now, obviously, some of you will have already seen these because we've been talking about them on stream for a little while, but I wanted to share them with a wider audience because I genuinely do believe that they can help you in scouting and finding the types of players that I've been able to find on both my Bolton save and on my Tromsø save, because I do believe that my scouting on Bolton this year has been a lot better than normal, and we've been able to find a more varied pack of players, quite frankly. I've been able to choose slightly more interesting options from time to time purely because I've been able to find those options that I don't believe I would have done before, quite frankly. So do excuse the fact that I look very different to what I normally do in a video. It's because I'm actually recording this using my stream setup because it was actually quite easy to do for this one particular scenario. So basically, one of the problems I always have when I'm doing scouting, when I'm just looking at the player search functionality, when I'm just going, you know what, I want to find a centre back or whatever, or no, I want to find a right winger. I'll look for that, and obviously you get tons and tons of players coming through, and it's difficult to know without doing in-depth scouting on each and every individual player who's good and who isn't at a quick glance. And obviously there's various different options you can look at when you can sort by attributes. You can go to, okay, we'll have a look at technical attributes, but the fact is half this stuff isn't relevant for the role that you're actually looking for at the end of the day, and it makes it very confusing to have to constantly switch between the two. So what I started doing on stream was building an analysis view, just a view that would allow us to see what I wanted for each role, essentially. And I'll show you what I mean by that now. Also, if you're not already, of course, following over on Twitch with the streams that we're doing right now, then do be sure to check that out as a link in the description, of course. Currently doing it with Tromsø, which is what I'm showing you on it right now. So what I've done here, essentially, is I've made a set of scouting views, essentially, for the player search screen that allows you to see, well, not even allows you to see, they're all visible. You can just make this stuff yourself, however, but I wanted to make some packs, essentially, for what I wanted. So what we've got is things like, obviously, the name. Height, I feel like, is important, not for every position, really, but it's nice to have there as well. Age is quite important, particularly if you're looking for younger players. Determination is always a factor for me, not the be-all and end-all, but always helpful. The footedness of the player, the personality, if it's, available to actually see, the club, the nationality, ability and potential, should you know that information, and the player's value. Now, this is the important thing. Obviously, that stuff's important too, but this is the bit that was really like a game changer for me, really, was that this right here is the key attributes for that role. So in this case, winger support, right? These are the preferable ones too. So these are the ones that would be highlighted on a player in green. These are the ones that would be highlighted in blue. So if I just look at Tony Giska right now, this stuff is all the key stuff. The blue is all the preferable. So the key, preferable. This means now, if I'm looking for a right winger in this case, although the winger search obviously searches for both sides, all you need to do is search by right winger here, but now you could just filter it. So, okay, I want crossing. Cool. I'll filter it by that. Now you can see instantly, looking down this, it's much easier to see at the blink of an eye a good player potentially to just get a scout report, and without having to do too much in-depth stuff. And it's just sped up my scouting situation so incredibly fast. And there's one other thing in addition to this that you can do that would absolutely speed this up too. Not even speed it up, but just make it even more expedited. So if you hold down shift once you've got it, like your main sort, so say you're looking at crossing and you think that's the most important attribute to look for, but you go, okay, but I kind of want the dribbling to be solid as well without having to resort things. So if you hold down shift and then click dribbling, it will now sort secondarily to crossing by dribbling. If I actually have to flip that around so it's facing downwards. So now, if there's a tie between two of these attributes here, so they're both 14 and 19, it will now sort those two by a secondary sort to provide the best dribbling on top of that. So you can kind of go as deep as you want into that. Now, obviously, you can go as far as we've gone down to like level 5 on this one. So if I want to go by technique as well, I can do it again. You'll notice there's less and less difference, obviously, as it's breaking ties in like a priority basis. But if you start to look down now, you'll be able to find much, much better players than you were at a quick glance. Now, obviously, it will depend on your recruitment package and various other things. So the better your scouts are in certain areas, the more information you'll have about these players. So obviously, in certain areas, as we start to scroll down, you'll start to see that it gets a bit granular. You don't know everything, but at the very least, you know there's something in there that you perhaps wouldn't have noticed before, essentially. So people who saw me using these scouting filters on my Tromsø save, and people wanted me to make a template. So I have made a template for you, which you can find here. So basically what this is, and this is included in the download link as well, it's got all the basic stuff, as well as the separators already added. And all you would need to do if you wanted to make a custom one would just be to add the attributes in between these two separators, essentially, and you can build it out and it has all the stuff built in for you. However, I thought I'd take it a step further than that. So what I've done is I've created a filter similar to, well, not even similar, identical to these types of filters for every single role that is in the game. Every single position, every single role within that position, including the different modifiers for those roles. So we've not just got midfielders, we've got deep line playmakers, but we've got the supporting version, and the defensive version. And each one of them will have the key attributes highlighted on this side and the preferable ones on this side. So it will vary from each one. So it now means that if you've got a tactic with a deep line playmaker on support, you could now just import this filter or filter view and see exactly what you're looking for when you start to do your scouting. And I really do believe that it will help speed up scouting. And I think that's part of the game that some people take a lot of interest in, like me, but it can get quite tedious going through players constantly, and this will surely help you speed that up a little bit, just to get those initial scouting reports in, and you might find some absolute gems doing this. So, there will be a link in the description of this video, which you will find obviously down below. It's a Mediafire link. I couldn't put it on the Steam Workshop because Steam is being weird with me at the moment, but it's a Mediafire link. It's a zip file. All you need to do is click the link in the description, and that will take you here. SYC player scouting views. Just download the zip file. It's like a megabyte. It will download like that. Just unzip the file using like, well, maybe WinRAR. Hey, who here paid for WinRAR? Get a bit of WinRAR going as well, or 7-zip, or the unzip of your choice. And then all you need to do is put the files, there's 82 of them, 83 I think if you include the player filter, put them in Sports Interactive in your documents, Football Manager 2021, views. You don't actually have to do this, but it's just easier as far as where the game goes. It can find them from anywhere, but you don't want to have to do that every single time you import them. So yeah, if the views folder doesn't exist, obviously you'll need to create it. That's not an issue. Dump them in there, and then they should be available for you to import into the game. So at that point, all you'll need to do once they're installed is go into import view here, and you should see them all show up in your views folder. And you'll see that some of them have slightly different namings. That's because of the way that FM doesn't let you change. When you change the file name outside of FM, it doesn't affect the actual name in the game. It's really dumb. I'm sorry about that. But you can still work out pretty clearly from each one what each one is. So there is a different filter or view for every single role that is available in the game. I went through, made sure that they were all as correct as I could possibly get them. I've added in a couple of little things that I felt were helpful for some of them that I thought that the game was ignoring potentially, but for the most part, I've just followed exactly along with what the game thought was important. So there shouldn't be a single role in the game that you won't be able to find a view for to help you scout, essentially. And also included in there, you'll find the player filter temp, which is the template that you can use to create your own ones off the top of that. Obviously, feel free to edit them anyway, because you might find there's certain things that you might want in addition to that, but nevertheless, this will hopefully speed up your scouting and enable you to find some cool-ass players, because it's always nice when you're looking through and you find, well, for example, Johnny De Pestra, an incredible centre-back from Haiti who plays in the Czech Republic. It's just something you wouldn't expect, and I genuinely don't believe I would have found him were it not for the fact that I was looking specifically on these views. So hey, let me know how you get on. Show me the players you find. If this video has been helpful to you, and the pack, of course, drop a like on it. That would be terrific. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. This isn't my normal style of content, but I really did want to put something out there that I felt could help people. And I'm sure that it's certainly not unique in any way, but it's what I was using. People wanted me to put it up there, so I have. And I wanted to make an installation video just so that you can get it installed properly. And of course, do come check out the streams. Link in the description. The stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and usually on Saturdays as well. So, I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.